Hey guys, GunFather here. Welcome back to another episode of Firearms Friday. Today for Firearms Friday, I'm going to be putting two bullets head to head. One of them, we've got the Hornady Amax. Both of these are in .308 caliber and 168 grains. We got our Hornady Amax and our Nosler Spitzer, and with the ballistic tip. They both have the polymer tip. They're both made to pretty much expand almost immediately. They're both recommended for deer and that size of animal. So I'm looking for a new deer cartridge. So I've loaded both these rounds are loaded with 44.7 grains of IMR 4166. Now this is the got the new Enduron technologies in it, and it's supposed to be insensitive to temperature change. So the reason I picked that for my hunting load is if I'm working up a load, say in the summertime, and I'm shooting a deer in the wintertime, I would want something that's not gonna throw me off if I'm shooting one at fairly long distance. So that's why I picked some of this new Enduron Technologies powder. So anyway, both of them are loaded with large Magnum rifle primers. And we're going to be firing them out of the Remington 783 chambered in .308 with a 22-inch barrel. So first up, we've got our Nosler Spitzer here. So check this out.
We got the 168 grain Nosler Spitzer. Got the green ballistic tip. Here we go. Alright, well, that Nosler blew straight through all this. As you can see, it just absolutely tore both of these jugs of detergent apart. Looks like in this first jug there's quite a few pieces of copper and lead. You can see that. Or that's actually the second jug. In the first jug, if there was any, I don't think we're going to find them. And resting down here in the first 5-gallon bucket is what looks to be the majority of the jacket and the inside piece of lead. So let's get that out of there. And there is the copper jacket and the lead, most of the lead core, it looks like. Obviously not a bonded bullet because it did totally separate.
Alright guys, well, as you can see, the Spitzer did a real good job. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. I was probably traveling a little bit over 2,700 feet per second. Like I said, both these are loaded to the exact same pressure with the exact same powder. So, and these are the exact same size of bullet. Both boat-tailed, basically hollow points with the polymer tip. And that did exactly what it's supposed to do. It expanded immediately, fragmented out a little bit, but there was still a large chunk of it. Most of it, over half the bullet really, traveled all the way to the back of that 5-gallon bucket that I had there. And I don't know if I even showed this, but it actually cracked the back of that bucket. So it almost went through the 5-gallon bucket even. So now, let's check out this Amax round.
Alright, well here's the weigh-in. This is every bit of lead and copper that I could possibly find. for our 168 grain Nosler. $128.7. Alright, now, so it maintained, if we found 128.7 grains out of 168 grains. Now let's find out just how big this one piece is here. $113.2. So that center mass, the center core of that, traveled all the way to the back of that water, that second bucket. Alright. Alright, here we go. We got the Hornady Amax 168 grain boat tailed, the polymer insert. Same gun, same setup. Alright, well, just like the other one, as you can see, there's little bits of copper and lead, I can get it to focus, amongst the dirt and stuff inside of the rest, what's left of this container. And this one looks like it has even some larger chunks of lead in there. I'll have to fish them out. And then I'm assuming what's most of our bullet is in here, because there is one entrance hole here, and that is the only place this thing's leaking. So we'll have to take the lid off this and see if we can't fish out the majority of our Amax. Alright, well, just like the Nosler, our jacket and most of our lead was laying down here in the bottom of the bucket. And let's fish it out here. It also looks like, well, all sorts of little lead fragments in there. And I'm assuming, actually, by looking at that, the chunks of the Nosler, looks like it fragmented much less, but we will find out when we go to weigh these up. I'll fish out all this lead and we'll see what we come up with. Alright, here's the weigh-in for our 168 grain Hornady Amax. 87.7 grains total, and that's every bit of lead and copper that I could find that was left inside of our 5-gallon bucket and our jug before that. Now, let's see what this one large piece was. Just the same as we did on our Nosler. $75.5. Alright guys, well, as you can see, the Amax round didn't travel anywhere near as far into the 5-gallon bucket. It literally, once it hit that 5-gallon bucket, it looked like it had most of its energy probably already gone. And they were both traveling about the same speed. Both of them should have been about 2,750 feet per second. So the Amax round, I think what's different about it is it fragmented out a lot more right at the beginning. As soon as it hit those first jugs, it really started to bust apart. And the largest piece that was left after the Amax, the piece that traveled the furthest into our 5-gallon bucket, was only 70 something grains, I think 78 grains. And
and the largest piece that we had out of our Nosler was 118 grains. So that's a lot more mass traveling through the through that wound channel if it was to be shot into a deer, and a lot more of that mass staying together. So I think if I had to pick between these two for a hunting round, so far in my test, I would definitely go for the Nosler. Well, so that's, if you guys can think of anything else, any other bullets that you guys would like tested. This probably won't be my first video like this. I've got a couple other rounds that I would like to test, and so I might have a few more Firearms Fridays that involve testing of different bullets for different various purposes and various calibers. So guys, hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you guys like this stuff, please be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me that thumbs up if you like this. Hit that subscribe. And I'll see y'all next week. GunFather out.